Yo, welcome back to the Stuff or Whatever podcast. Host BQuanchi here. Before we get started, I always like to say the best way to support me and the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe, watch, all that. The three main socials are always in the links of description of videos about on the channel. YouTube for the podcast, other videos I work on too, mostly gaming related, and my stream VODs, my gaming stream VODs, which is on Twitch. And that's also BQuanchi. And on Twitter, you can follow along for fun tweets, wee tweets I do, and all that. And unless when I do go live, so I recommend all that. BQuanchi all around. So check that out. Really appreciate that. Because I've been working on stuff. Well, the latest, I guess you could say big video is I did review Brock Investigator and actually put together a review for that. And that was kind of an ordeal. But I did also play the game twice on stream, so you can check it out on the channel, my playthroughs, Brock Investigator. I would probably say it's my favorite indie game that come out this year. But just, I'm not sure, it's just, me being... I don't know, because I do grow up with, issues with, needing to take speech therapy and trouble talking and stuff like that. Even though I do a podcast, I have a microphone, and I talk on stream and all that, but I did a lot of struggles with that, and I'm sure it was just with the review, because the review, I think, came when I edited everything down. And when I say edit, it's nothing too fancy. It's some of my gameplay footage and, of course, my opinions and thoughts on the game and overview of it. But it's like a 15-minute video, I believe. But I had over 2.5 hours of audio to shift through. Because all of it's just me repeating takes and not being happy with a take. And it does some gaps in times, too, so... But it was kind of ordeal like that. I think that's one reason why I got put off so much. Because also, I did record the audio before they put the combat update, and now they have a beta for it. So if you check the game before, they are updating the developers updating the combat, and there's a beta they can check out. Look at their Twitter, Calcat Games. Also my review as well, but and it's just good because what I do with the podcast, it's kind of this more stream of consciousness, and sometimes I write down some ideas of some topics I want to kind of talk about, at least make something interesting. So it's just me trying to fill the void of silence and not just get stuck listening to voices in my head and lose my sanity or anything like that. But whatever. But it's a lot of, I don't know. Because sometimes I write down, but sometimes even my writing is. Not that it's illegible, but sometimes I want to rephrase stuff, or I got a habit of using some of the same words. It did this well. Oh, I kept on doing well as an adjective, or is that a verb? I don't know. I mean, dumb at the moment, but it felt like I was kind of repeating the same, using the same terms to describe something. When I can use maybe I just need a thesaurus or something like that. Just look that up and stuff like that. But then try to edit on the fly to make it more interesting. And then just fumbling with my words. I do fumble with my words so much. I'm sure it was just that pressure, just the idea okay, these is a script in a sense. I guess you can call it that if I again, it's more the hobby of than anything else, but sometimes it's keep messing up, and then sometimes when I try to say it right, sometimes I feel irritated, or my inflections oh, that's supposed to be the end of the sentence, and my inflection sounds off. I don't know. Maybe because it's just write on line paper, maybe I should if I had a printer or something like that, or just type things out. But sometimes I think maybe just my organization, and it's mentally trying to read stuff out. But yeah, that's something I worked really hard on it. Probably not the best in terms of game commentary and reviewer, but I appreciate checking that out. I did my Brock. I think I mentioned that on previous podcast, is doing a smash and pass video, and that's getting a little bit more attention and stuff like that too. So just kind of see what works. But again, I'm not going to be a big YouTuber anytime soon, or I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to have people check into my streams, because those have been kind of lonely. It's kind of sad word to say, but yeah, I don't know. I just do whatever. Again, at the end of the day, it's a hobby, and sometimes it's nice to kind of just have this organization or mindset. Okay, I want to do this. I want to create that. Create is a very loose word, but I want to put this out there, and even if it's just stupid thoughts, opinions, or maybe not, maybe it's more insightful. I don't know. If people can appreciate it, I have seen some comments on stream okay, maybe one, and like, okay, that's nice. That's kind of like reaffirming, but it just like doesn't quite connect until like it becomes more real. In other words, this is a hobby and stuff like that. And it's the internet, so you take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know. At least like my Undertale stuff, kind of like is still like keeping the partnership alive and stuff like that in terms of like views and hours watched. But who knows? Maybe something else big will happen with the channel and all that. So just anyone who's like kind of a small creator, kind of like, oh, maybe I dip and do that. Probably takes a lot of time. Maybe takes a huge. I say probably, but it does take a huge amount of luck. Try things. I don't know. But if you can like just enjoy, like if you can just put stuff out, thinking this will not become anything. I still have to work at like a regular job and stuff like that. This is on the side, fun hobby, whatever. But anyways, I did want to talk about stream stuff as well. I did take a break last week, but I will probably stream for the rest of December. But at the beginning of the year, I take vacation like for personal stuff. So there's gonna be a gap. But I want to mention like one of my streams, my Sonic Adventure 2 battle. For some reason, I didn't realize because I never had any issues with Twitch, but I just realized like after the stream was done, I was trying to get download the VOD so I can put on YouTube, and it was like, oh, the video has been muted at this part and stuff like that. And it was like a copyright thing. I went, okay, that never happened before. And I guess it was saying like, oh, this Ricardo Silva is copyrighting Live and Learn and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, that's not the guy. That's like, it's Crush 40. But then I think I realized next to Live and Live, they put the Spanish version, like whatever that translates to Spanish. And I looked up, oh, it's a Spanish cover. And it's like, I think I've seen this name before. I've seen like companies do that, like maybe do like a Spanish cover or a foreign language cover of a song, and then for some reason they get the copyright when it's not the song. Because like, no, that's clearly not that version of the song. But I don't know. But Twitch surprisingly made it easy to like contest or whatever. I'm not too familiar with this system. So like, oh wait, because like crap, do I have to like edit out that because that. Yeah, the song really plays a lot in the final fight of the game. I didn't want to like edit out the final fight just for or just leave it unmuted, just for the sake of having that VOD. Maybe thought about putting it off, I get things figured out, but it was pretty quick. When now I can download the VOD and get it ready for YouTube. And the funny thing, YouTube had no issues with like any previous like VODs and stuff like that. With at least Sonic Adventure 2, I didn't have any like copyright stuff. And like Crash 40 does a lot of the music for that. Even like I forget the guy who does the City Escape song, but never had any copyright issues. Even when I put the exact VOD because I was able to get it completely unmuted. It's like okay, it's fully intact from how it's. And I'm kind of curious, like how does that affect the regular stream in terms of audience? Because don't have too much people watching, but I was able to upload YouTube no issues at all. So I think this is kind of weird, but made it kind of convenient for. But it's just kind of annoying, like with Twitch, like not knowing all how it works or consequences and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, that the copyright that's popping up is not technically the song; it's a version of it, but it's not the one on stream. I didn't mute like all the audio because I had to find that boss fight a couple times. Check out the stream too. I have playlists too if you are curious to see. But also speaking of copyright. I did get a notification from Google Drive that YouTube copyright, but it's a scam. It's like not really YouTube. It's someone like making up this fake PDF and sending it to you and getting to try to click the link to download something good. I did a stream from Flint Hook and like, and the funny thing I mentioned like last time I had this like issue is that the email it sent it to. The Google Drive is not linked to my YouTube, even though I listed it. It's just like a secondary one. But also, I had footage of I did gameplay. Let me also mention that too. But I have gameplay videos of just gameplay. I did one for Flint Hook back before, and that had no issues on YouTube. Plus, I don't get emails. I didn't get any notifications in YouTube Studio. So those are the big things. Like YouTube usually, in my experience, pretty quick if they like catch something copyright wise uploading video. Like, hey, yeah, and sometimes it'd be like, hey, you can't monetize, or hey, it has to be shared, and sometimes it's like bullshit stuff they can try to contest. I had that issue with the DuckTales Moon level from the NES versions that just dropped off because I contested, so it's kind of weird how it all works out, but That I would mention that. But going back to gameplay, I think I'm gonna have this starting beginning of next year. I might just record stuff and then like kind of upload a backlog a little bit. But I want to do like gameplay videos, but with commentary, kind of a let's play style, just to see if that works. Just to, like for games I kind of want to like check out that might not be worth like a long stream or anything like that. And I also mentioned that before, like want to do like indie game demos, something that I can like make 20-30 minute videos and stuff like that with just like playing video games and see if it hits or not. Because I did that with Beast of Bird. I'm repeating myself a lot too, but I did with Beast of Bird and I did it with the final level of Savage Halloweens. But I just do that just so I can like do this and that, and if it's like worth playing more, maybe I'll do more gameplay series maybe. But I think I kind of just like doing the streams just because it's more simple to just like kind of put your eggs in different baskets. Like, hey, this footage is going on being broadcast on Twitch, and then eventually I can just upload it and have it available on YouTube to watch. It's kind of like I kind of like playing different platforms and stuff like that. But it's kind of like food for thought. I'm thinking of there's other videos I want to do too on a channel. Sometimes I just procrastinate so much, but it's like also one of the things. Like if you view it more a hobby and you have your other priorities like a full-time job and other things like that too, it's just like it is what it is. So next I want to talk about established titles. This has been kind of blowing up. It's been like a huge sponsorship on YouTube in terms of like a lot of channels I've been hearing it from saying like, oh, if you buy, you can buy this plot of land that legally makes you a lord in Scotland, and they give you like a big fancy certificate and stuff like that too. And even said that, oh, we didn't with every purchase like we donate to one tree planted with the charity for like helping with forestation or whatever you want to call it, like replanting trees and stuff like that. This is a big video that came out from a creator of the channel, Scott Schaefer, talking about how it's a scam and kind of presenting all this different evidence as well. That's been blowing up. Like, I actually heard it from, it's funny, I gotta check out the channel more because I kind of see the creator, his name escapes me, but some ordinary gamers, because sometimes I see him from time to time. Somebody on Twitter keeps like feeding me, so maybe I should just follow him. But then saw like, oh, because he took sponsorship from them, and then he was kind of called out too. But then what? I gotta watch it because some ordinary gamers actually did a specific video about it too. But what they did is that they cut off all ties and edited previous like videos to remove the sponsorship. Because that's one thing cool about YouTube is that you can actually edit your videos. And since I'm not sure how in depth you can, not in depth, but in depth you can get with editing your posted videos on YouTube. But I know you can easily trim stuff out. I've seen that before, like with even lets you do that with copyrighted stuff. Like, hey, you can just remove it and keep the video where it is. In terms of like if you didn't want to share monetization or have it turn off because a certain song's playing, but people can easily remove videos and stuff like that. And it's like one of the things, like I guess the main thing with established titles is like, hey, that's not really a thing. Like people from Scotland said, hey, that's not a thing. Even like kind of sketchiness, like we don't know if like they're actually donating it or if it's just like. And he actually made a second video to a follow up that I recently watched because like it was when first hearing it was gonna be like he said she said kind of thing is gonna be, but I think it's very clear like, hey, fuck this company, established titles and stuff like that. Because one thing I also heard is that there was some like concerns with like Philip DeFranco because I do follow his channel, his show, and it's saying like people who commented about it were like being banned from commenting or like having their tweets deleted, like they were trying to hide that. But then he actually came out forth with it's like, hey, the scam, so we are removing the sponsorships and even making a donation instead, and kind of bringing it where it because that's the one like, are they gonna sue the Scott Schaefer guy for slander and stuff like that too? As I was saying, like there's like a I guess you can say like a clapback video, so like trying to like put Scott Schaefer down, saying that he's really racist, but he didn't really say anything like really bad. Like he said, the company's based on Hong Kong and stuff like that, and have like no offices or anything in Scotland, where allegedly, the land's being sold. These plots, so then people can be lordship, even though it doesn't count for anything. But get people like, oh, he's saying the scam. Oh, he's saying from China, so he's saying like Chinese people are scammers and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. You take it with a grain of salt. And even if that is the case, like maybe he's not the best person, that doesn't have the fact that, hey, this is a sketchy company and stuff like that. Because he also mentioned in his first video about Deal Dash, which I remember a long time ago seeing ads for that, and people like getting like big TVs or laptops or iPhones, like electronics for a couple dollars and stuff like that. And like, oh, that feels too good to be true. Like I didn't even bother with it. I mean, I think like the big thing about that is like you pay for your bids, even don't, because it's like auction things and like getting really cheap stuff through auction and bids. But I guess you have to pay for bids even if you don't win. And it's like people keep on paying bids, sometimes even paying more than the actual value or market price of the item, stuff like that. I do recommend like checking it out as well, because like in his follow up, he was talking about he's putting some more and like how established how to like quickly change the website and all that to make it like, oh no, it's a gag gif. Like I swear I heard like YouTubers or whatever channels like calling it a gag gif, like because they've even said that for like, oh, you can use it officially like for a credit card or on a passport and stuff like that. And even showed like clips of saying like, oh, it's official or legally, which it's not. And like it's like the titles is like really backpedaling to trying to save face and stuff like that. But how do you say, like, with the idea of a gag gif, don't, whatever the hell is, don't fucking buy a gag gif, no matter what. Because that's just insulting to whoever's receiving it. Like, it's funny to see videos. I'm not sure if the actors, like, being so happy and surprised, getting, like, the title. And like, I guess it looks nice, but, you can always, like, make it up in, like, Photoshop or MS Paint or whatever. Like, who cares? It's pretty much a worthless piece of paper and all that. But I think I would say like the thought of an act of gifting somebody or giving a gift should not be a gag. Like fuck that. It's like that stupid like, hey, buy a star for somebody or whatever. Like don't fucking do that. Just give the person anything. Like even if it has to be like weak. I don't want to say like weak. Like even if it's like not as meaningful like a gift card. Like at least that has some value they can appreciate and use and stuff like that. Like don't buy them a fucking title. Don't buy them a fucking star. That doesn't mean anything at all. It just means that you gave someone else money and you're a fucking idiot. Like, I even thought about it myself, and I think like if a close family member gave me like an established title as a present, like for birthday or Christmas, I would say I would probably just rip that up in the face and call them I wouldn't call them a fucking idiot. I would just call them an idiot. Call them more because like, dude, I would make a point like, hey, don't buy shit like this. Like, don't pay for shit like this. It's meaningless, it's pointless. You're just giving people money and stuff like that. Especially like you say like, oh, we donate to charity, but I think that's kind of sketchy too. Like, do they really? And then try to like, I'm not sure if they like make stuff up. Like I know like emails and kind of like when controversy comes out, like people try to save face and try to cover their assets and stuff like that. No, here's the email. It has a number of how many trees we help, but like, where's that number coming from? And obviously, there's been edits to the website right after the Scott Schaefer video went live and stuff like that. And also, other YouTubers are doing research and seeing other uploads. So it's like, he's not the only one. He's not the only one doing research and noticing this sketchiness and all that. I guess the last thing I want to talk about that is, it's weird because I see, I'm not sure it's like kind of going through the rabbit hole, but I saw like established titles like sponsored posts on my Facebook and stuff like that. I could like look in the comments and people like talking about how it doesn't mean anything. And then this one that kind of caught me is like, even if it doesn't really mean actual lore, it is for a good cause. And it's like, what's wrong with you with that way of thinking? Like, if you're doing it for the cause, then why not just do it for the cause directly? Like, if you're doing some stupid bullshit like this, gag gift, whatever novelty it has, if you want to support a cause, support them directly, because if you do this, it's going to go through middlemen. They're going to receive a lot less for the good cause, if they receive anything. So, like, don't use that as an excuse. Like, that just feel like, oh, I got scammed, but at least something good came up from it. And maybe it didn't, maybe they did donate some, but still, donate directly to causes as well. I just want to talk about charity as well, kind of like going back to the gift of giving. And on that, since it's technically December, and this also kind of got me on a tangent and thinking to act like somebody will like when they like don't know like a good gift idea, like, oh, I'll donate to a charity, a good cause in their name, and I think that's a shitty gift to give. It sounds awful saying it out loud because charity, helping people in need and all that. Like, my thought process is don't donate, don't make a donation as an act of a gift. Like, don't use it as an act of saying, oh, instead of giving you like maybe a gift card, giving you like a I don't know, coffee maker or something from Amazon, or a sweater, something like that. Instead of giving somebody a physical gift, donate to something else and say it's for the name, because that creates that awkward position too. Like, if that was like someone donated to like, I love animals, so let's say they donated to ASPCA, like that want to help with animals and rescues and stuff like that. And like, oh, we did a donation for animal rescue, but we did it in your name, and I'll be pissed off. That's kind of a rough reaction to say pissed off, but a strong word. But I'll be like really annoyed because like you could have got me something, and like I can't really be pissed off because it's for a good cause, especially if a good cause that I believe in. But it's like I wanted something. Like, don't donate as like a bullshit gift idea. Because also part of that, I feel like we shouldn't use gifting as an excuse to donate. I don't think we should program ourselves to donate as an act of getting a gift for someone else. Like, oh, instead of buying you this or that, because I don't know what you like, I don't know what would be a good gift idea, so I'm just going to donate to charity. We should just donate to charity. There's a lot of people need it, a lot of different causes. Also say, like, do your research. Like, don't just, like, jump on any charity you hear about, that. But I said, like, don't use it as a gift idea. Donate, give, people need it. Don't use it as an excuse as a gift. Like, buy somebody a gift and then donate to charity. I think that's like, it can be like different examples too. Like, if somebody like explicitly said, like, hey, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, or hey, it's my birthday, seriously, I don't want anything, please donate to this charity, I really am for this cause, I really appreciate a donation, versus giving me something. Or if somebody was like an ambassador and stuff like that for like an organization and say, hey, I ambassador, like, please donate like in my name, or hey, here's a link you can donate and add to it, and maybe I'll get more opportunities to work with the organization. So I think if it's someone that explains like, hey, donate on my behalf because I want this, that's really awesome too, whether it be for like children's hospitals or feeding the hungry or saving animals is a big one as well that I like. But like my idea, like, give, it's a really tough time during the holidays for a lot of people. Give, but don't use your act of giving as a replacement for a gift for a loved one. Like, it's, the attention's nice, but I feel like it's an awkward, like, hey, you've cheaped out. And again, it feels like my instinct is to like cheap out, but yet you gotta have giving someone something nice just because you kind of think of anything, or just like, oh, I'll just donate, kill two birds with one stone. And like, no, spread it out if you need to, but whatever. That's just like a little rant about charity and all that. And then one thing I want to talk about is more Twitter stuff. And I'm trying to think, I did take a break from the Thanksgiving and all that, but I'm trying to think where I left out, because I know there's a lot of issues with like Elon Musk and how he's running Twitter and all that. I'm not sure if I mentioned, if at that point, I think I did, about like Trump being having his account unsuspended, and I think it's been 2 weeks now and he hasn't tweeted. I'm just mentioning this because I wonder. God, I'm trying to think if I even said this on last podcast. I'm just repeating myself, but no one's listening, so it doesn't matter. But I read like saying that Trump is obligated not to post on competing social media. So even if he's unblocked from Twitter, he shouldn't be tweeting on it, because, he would get like fined or something like that, or what. And I don't know, that just feels like the whole thing with like Elon Musk making a poll, Elon Musk making a big deal. Like, you see this like cringy memes that Elon Musk put out about Trump posting on Twitter. And it's like, I think it's in Trump's best interest not to, and I'm going to say fuck Trump. It's in his best interest not to post on Twitter, because first off, if there is a contract, if it is something like, hey, even if it's just like a fee, even maybe a steep fee, whatever, that lessens his motivation to post on Twitter. But also, I think it's Parler is the one he's active on now. But I think like in that platform, like he has everyone kissing his ass and agreeing with him, versus Twitter, even though he'll probably get a lot of that anyways, like getting a lot of ass kissing, getting a lot of that, but he'll also get a lot of opposition and pushback and stuff like that. Like when he was president and all that, it was like a routine late night host gimmick with their monologues and stuff like that, making fun of Donald Trump tweets. So I think even that, like if he have his bubble, he has his like platform, his safe spot, the fragile snowflake he is, you can do that and like say whatever he wants. People will like cheer him 100%, support him 100% because that's his people and all that. Versus Twitter, it's still a mixed bag. I just want to talk about Twitter a little bit more because I know like there's like rants about Elon Musk and free speech and like oh, Twitter's for free speech and all that. And I know there's some issues with Apple, and I'm probably not the best source to cover it, so you can probably look it up as well. But there's like issues with like Apple not advertising on Twitter, but their own company, it's gonna be their own decision. Like even though Twitter's platform where a lot of people are like, still they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's their own company and all that. Like they can like suspend people, they can make rules and stuff like that. Because it's funny that Elon mentions like free speech, because I've seen like little posts like people saying like, oh, we got these warnings that our tweet's going to get deleted and stuff like that because it quote unquote breaks community guidelines and stuff like that, like harassment and bullying. And it's in the showing the tweet as well. And I would have to say these tweets are like maybe they're sassy, maybe they're snarky tweets, comments, jokes and stuff like sassy, snarky at best. And like that's not fucking bullying and stuff like that. And like, hey, these tweets are going to be deleted and stuff like that because guidelines and stuff like that. That's an issue with like even TikTok as well. And I know I even had a little bit of that with like, I know people try to jumping on Twitter alternatives like Mastodon. I heard that's like kind of iffy. The big one was Hive. I'm not sure if that's going to be anything. I know there's like kind of concern with security. I made a Hive account. Maybe I'll be active on it. It's BQuanchi there as well, but just to kind of have like a backup. But I don't know. I think a lot of people jumping the gun too with Twitter. I think it's still going to stay around, even if like burnt to ashes by Elon Musk. But we'll have to see. But I feel like Hive. Some of my grievance with it is that since it's just an app, there's no desktop version, no website, and I think just because it's very small, it can be really slow. If there's like a huge fluctuation of active users and stuff like that too. But yeah, just like some crazy stuff with Twitter, and I think it's been calming down. But also what's kind of funny, like the Tesla stock has been dropping a lot too. So I know Elon Musk, he was even talking about like even doing his own phone, because they were talking about like Apple removing Twitter for the App Store, because I know there's a big deal with like doing that to Fortnite, how it has to do with like 30% or something like that. Again, I'm not probably the best source to discuss it, give details and stuff like that, but like Twitter's been crazy and we'll see. But I think it's like not going anywhere. We'll see, because again, I mentioned before, I kind of feel like maybe Twitter was hemorrhaging money and all that. Even though I know Elon Musk like destroyed like a lot of the staff, so like cut that down a lot. But I always feel kind of weird, like this whole like buying Twitter. It felt like they almost like really twisted his arm and stuff like that. Like, hey, like you really like tease the idea so much, like we can do legal actions. I think it just how they went about like really pushing Elon Musk to actually buy Twitter is kind of iffy, but oh well. So the last thing I want to talk about in this podcast is a childhood song. Like when you're a kid, you see like those edutainment like programs and all that. Like Sesame Street is a big one. So I also want to talk about it because I feel like it had like a huge Mandela effect when I kind of looked it up again recently. But I remember like as a kid, like this song, like seeing this like kids on a farm, and the song was called "Dirt Made My Lunch." And I remember like, okay, there was like kids like maybe on a field trip on a farm, like learning things and stuff like that too. And then there's like this puppet that talks about like, oh, dirt's how important dirt is, and like they ask the kids what they're eating, and you're like, oh, I'm eating a sandwich. You go, where dirt helped grow those grains to make that sandwich, and like, oh, I'm drinking milk. You're like, well, dirt grows the food for the cows and stuff like that, and then trying to think of like salad, like oh, which like what the fuck? Why the kid be eating a salad like on a field trip or something like that? But like, oh, all these vegetables grow from the ground, and that's where dirt is. So I had a song about like dirt made my lunch, and that was like the educational thing. I remember the songs like dirt made my lunch, and there's like the chorus is like, thank you dirt, thanks a bunch for my sandwich, my salad, my milk, and my munch. I'm butchering that, but I think that's how it goes. But like I had in my mind, I remember because I'm like, I really felt that was Sesame Street, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't because I thought I just remember like this big dirt puppet like talking to the kids and stuff like that. So I googled it and looked it up, and because like where did that come from? What is Sesame Street? What program was it? And this might be aging myself a little bit, but I think it's also like one of the things like educational, like edutainment stuff, like it's recycled or reused. I'm not sure if I saw it in like school, in grade school, or something like that. That had to be it, but I looked it up. It was by Banana Slug String Band. When I read that, my mind is like blew a fuse. Like it's like I've never heard those words in my entire life, but I've seen this. So Banana Slug String Band, which I don't know, like like it's like the Wiggles and whatever. Yo Gabba Gabba. I don't know. I don't follow like kid stuff at all. I do have nephews and nieces and stuff like that too. But I was like, yeah, this is coming back to me. But what the hell is Banana Slug String Band? Like, oh, they had the video on YouTube. Like, what the hell? For old time's sake, let me watch it. Like, oh, the kids on the farm, and then the dirt puppet came and like. Again, in my mind, I was thinking like Sesame Street quality, like Kermit the Frog, or like Elmo, a Cookie Monster, Big Bird. Like, okay, it's just like this cool puppet. And then when I saw the puppet, it's like, I won't say it's like too cheap, but it's like a step up from a sock puppet. I would just leave it at that. And it's like funny, like, oh my god, like my mind remember like a much elaborate puppet, like telling the kids like, oh, all this food grows from the ground and stuff like that. Whether it's grains for your sandwich, vegetables for your salad, or food for the cow that you get the milk from. But it's like teaching kids like, oh, how important, like I guess like how soil and growing stuff like on farms is. But the song is like exactly how I'd remember. But like again, like I don't know, it's Mandela effect or just like part of that memory just did not exist anymore for me. Like Banana Slug String Band and what the dirt puppet looked like and all that. But I just thought that was funny and like. Part of me like wish I don't know if anyone ever heard of Dirt Made My Lunch. Like comment below. Like I would love to hear more because the video on YouTube is part like listed as a kids video, so comments are disabled on it. I thought it'd be funny like if someone like made like a parody or a joke, like. If you go, oh, if food come from dirt, then let's like rubber food in dirt so we can like grow more. Like I want extras on I want seconds on my sandwich, and this shove his dirt sandwich in the dirt. Like, hey, this is eat dirt. Like skip the middleman and just eat dirt, and like the dirt monster would be like, or the dirt puppet would be like, what? Like, so these kids eat dirt because they're like brain dead and stupid, thinking, oh, that's where food comes from, and then maybe they're like, ooh, let's eat the dirt monster and stuff like that. Like it becomes a horror movie, like the zombies eating the dirt monster. I haven't played around with like an idea. Like I don't know if I'm stupid in my head. Like I have a very funny idea for a parody. Maybe it would have to be like animated or something. It would be a little bit more cruder than eating dirt. But like the whole idea, like where food comes from and growing food on the farm. Like if I could have the opportunity to like workshop with like an animated like Meat Candy and stuff like that, like I have an idea of a parody of Dirt Made My Lunch, just have it out there just to see how people react. Is like, oh, I remember that song. Oh, like what the hell is this? Because I think, again, not to age myself, but I think it came out before I was born, or I was just a little teeny tiny baby. I gotta look that up again, but just like have an idea, like, oh, there's a childhood song. Yeah, I'll check it out. And all that, and then like, what the hell is this? Like, what the hell is Banana Slug String Band? And what the hell is that fucking puppet? It looks cheap. cheaper than what I thought and all that. But anyways, I think this will do it for the podcast this week. Again, the best way to support me in the channel is to like, comment, subscribe. Check out that Brock review that I put out for Brock the Investigator, because I did put a lot of work into that. It doesn't look like it. It looks kind of but I don't know. I kind of, if I had more motivation, or I have to say this, like, I was at Mercy. Maybe I need to get a better video editor, because I have a free one, and you can pay for it, because one of the features that are not in the free one is like I can't save my video project. But you can restore it, like if like your computer was turned off or the program closed out, you can restore it. But if you click new project and you're shit out of luck, so I'm like, that's first, like, okay, I've been editing for a couple days, like, that sounds more time than what it really was. But it's like, gotta go to work, I want to do something else. And plus I had Pokemon Scarlet, no, I got Violet. I got Pokemon Violet to play, so I got like other distractions as well, and streaming and all that. But yeah, I had fun doing that. Check out my other VODs and all that. I'm probably going to do one more podcast next week, because they have some kind of anecdotal stuff. If I can talk right. Again, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, like speech issues with speech, and took speech therapy for a lot when I was a kid and all that. But yeah, that will do it. And then probably take a week, because I've been kind of on and off with the podcast, just because it's kind of like solo, and it is what it is. But if it can get more engagement, if it can get more to it, that would be cool. But anyways, that will do it for now. More stuff in the works, like probably beginning of next year. I'll probably recap this on my next podcast, just because that will probably be a hiatus after that. But I want to do more like gameplay stuff on the channel, besides just stream VODs and game videos and commentaries and all that. But yeah, check that out. Appreciate the feedback, and y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye.